Today is day, I think, 13 of recording myself every day. Today is April 22nd, Tuesday, 2025. Going to class right now. It is currently 7:41. I have class at 8:30 and it takes about 45 minutes to get there, so I'm on time. I have my second favorite class, which is a low bar, but I actually pay attention half the time in this class. Mainly because the professor is actually interesting. Like, he's a very seasoned professional and he just makes a lot of jokes and is very, like, doesn't care what he says. Like, he'll make fun of someone or either in the class or outside of the class. Like, he just doesn't care. So it's funny to watch. I laugh a lot. But half the time I'm still working on code because the pace is a little bit slow for me. So yeah, but today I have my first exam. So I have class at 8:30. I think it's probably gonna end around 11:30, and then I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do my fitness session for the week, off the bike session. So that will probably take, I might do 30 minutes just so I can fit in more studying, because I have an exam, I think, starting at 5. My final exam, and in Spain, the final exams account for like 80% of your grade. And if I can't fail the final exam for multiple reasons. If I fail any of the business classes that I'm taking at IE, then I would have to do more USC credits, which is literally the end of the world. So anything but that. The way I've been studying is that we had practice quizzes that we had every week. I take the questions from those practice quizzes, I put them into ChatGPT, and I do the questions verbatim until I know exactly how they work. And I just keep on doing that. It's just a lot of like repeat, doing questions that he's already given us to build that like kind of memorization. It's not like the best way of learning. It's not the most efficient way of learning to actually learn the topic, but I don't really give a fuck, and I'm just trying to get a grade so I can graduate. First exam, and then after that I have to get home and finish all my habits. I don't know when I'm gonna edit. I don't know when I'm going to juggle. Actually, I'm gonna juggle as soon as I get home. I don't know when I'm gonna eat dinner. So I'm gonna have to be really efficient when I get home. Luckily tomorrow, only one class, but it is a presentation, so I do have to prepare for that. Although I don't think I have to do much for it because I did the coding portion, which was literally a joke. And someone else kind of already did it for me, but my group is kind of slow because I told them, the professor sent out a message saying like, oh, this is what we have to do, and they ignored it the first time, and then I sent it again and they were like, oh, great. And it's literally like they decided to do everything. So there was a coding portion, and then there's a presentation based on like your group's code, because everyone was giving a stock in the class, and then we have to create a portfolio of the stocks. And the presentation saying your presentation should mainly focus on the portfolio, and they're still adding a bunch of shit that literally does not fucking matter. So I don't even think I'm talking when I'm presenting, but I'm pissed off because it makes me look dumb because my group is like doing not the guidelines. Like, it's not hard, just follow what he said. But we'll get done. I have to do some work on the I think I'm going to do work coding during class, half during class, and then half studying, and then half paying attention. So like of 1/4 studying, 1/4 coding, and then half paying attention, if you can call it half paying attention. So probably like 25% paying attention, 50% studying, 25% coding. That's my day at a glance. We'll see how it actually turns out. We'll see how the exam turns out. I have 4 quizzes to get through, and I've finished one, and I'm on the second pass of the second quiz. So I still have to get through 2 more after this one, but I think after this class I should be done with this one and then maybe another one. So pulling up to the metro, gonna be a good day, gonna be a busy week, but it actually only gets easier from here because this is my last 4-day week of school for the rest of my life. So yeah. Been a while since we talked. In a study room IE is currently 1:30, so I'm just going to sum up a little bit. Got to the class, very smooth. I spent about like 80% of my time studying for my test at 4 p.m. So I have 2.5 hours to continue to study. I feel pretty prepared so far, although actually prepared for how much I've been studying, but like I haven't really been studying that much. All I need to do is pass these classes. I don't need to get like good grades, because all that comes back to my home university is, did I pass, did I fail? So after class, went to the gym. I did 60 minutes on the bike. There's something weird that I feel like I can push harder in the bike the longer I go at it. And it's like, as I get closer to the 60 minutes, like I push harder and harder. I just don't understand it. But it was a good session. I realized something. I was telling myself like, oh, I don't really want to do this right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I feel like that framing in my mind is actually really bad, in that I should just be saying that I want to push anyway, and then I want to push harder, because I feel like me doing something anyway, even though I don't want to do it, doesn't make me push as hard as me really wanting to do something. So just telling myself that, trying to frame my thoughts so that I can get as much out of every workout, every second I can. And then I had lunch. I had a poke. It was pretty good. Just the IE poke, if anyone has ever had that. I get during like, especially like fitness sessions, I get very like hateful and angry, and it like really pushes me to do better. But it's like, I realize it's really bad, because everyone around me, even these people who are just like walking on a treadmill, I'm like competing with them to see like, oh, can I beat them? Can I last longer with them? And then it turns into like literal hate for these people I've never talked to, will never see again in my life. And it's just like, but I don't know, I think it's just kind of funny. A little tired. I was completely unprepared today. I didn't bring extra underwear, so I had to raw dog my biking session. Luckily, I had like a net on my shorts, so that was good. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. Didn't bring a towel, so I had to air dry, but live and learn. Try just not make the same mistakes next time. I don't know when I'm going to edit tonight, because I have to do my juggling and make food. I'm probably just going to have to order food, because I don't have time to edit. Hopefully this exam goes well, though. Hopefully I pass the class. Something I am excited for, the class I had earlier this morning is called Applied Financial Engineering. It's kind of like really shitty. We're learning decision trees, like Black-Scholes models, and it's like, wow, this is not very intellectually difficult. I thought like quantitative like finance would be a little bit harder, honestly, and I think it is, just the mathematical side that you can't explore in a undergraduate class that's not focused on math, which sucks for me, because I would definitely rather be in a class that I understand less but is really pushing towards like the intellectual edge of models being used. But also, if the models were public, then they probably wouldn't be being used in the top firms. So it's like a trade-off. But next class, we're going to be learning about, I think, the mathematics behind neural networks, but in a basic way, so he can explain it to business students, which sucks, because I wish he would do it in the like mathematical way, which is like more complicated, but it's a lot of the concepts, which is cool, because I have a specialization at my home university in artificial intelligence, but basically that's just like the neural networks. The last class was applied neural networks, and we just went through like all of them, from like GANs to like variational autoencoders. Although I didn't pay attention in the class, like I still know the names and know the general concepts, but I didn't like go in depth, because I had a really big problem with paying attention in class was super hard for me. I don't know why it was. If I was watching the Zoom from home, like at a later date, no problem. But I think it was something that the classroom would literally make me fall asleep. I think that maybe the temperature, or like I knew my friend was there, so I just wouldn't pay attention, but I don't know what about it. So I actually didn't learn that much. I still passed the class. I think I got an A. But that's just because classes like or not even USC, just like colleges add classes in general, the like grade inflation teachers don't really, I don't know, they're like kind of afraid to fail people now. So it like incentivizes people to not work hard because they just try to give everyone like GPA is so important when recruiting, but now that it's so important for everyone, grade inflation is like a really bad thing. So then GPA actually doesn't matter at all. I personally think like personal, but I this is from like a coding perspective, but personal projects is really like what you need on your CV to show like, because I feel like I at least I learned the most when I was like actually coding, and I'm learning more in product design because now I'm just kind of a PM, um, like designing a product, not literally product design. Like how can I better organize the project so that it makes sense to others, to me, to the AI coder agent. But yeah, I don't really have anything else I want to rant on. Probably will try to get a time lapse of me working for the next like 2.5 hours, and then I'll probably check in once I get home to tell y'all how the exam works or how the exam went. Hopefully I don't turn on the camera absolutely bawling my eyes out saying like I'm gonna have to do more classes at USC or something. I think I borderline have to do more classes. I hate formal education because it's just so like mind-numbingly boring, and I think that corporate life is going to be the same exact thing. So that's exactly why I don't want to go into it in like the lean, like scrappy, like without all the bureaucracy is like what I want in a workspace if I were to go in a company. But I'm also thinking like the calendar app I'm building right now, it's either going to have to be sold, outsourced CEO or something along those lines, because I really want to focus on soccer, and at some point I'm going to have to go all in literally to where every single second of my day is towards soccer, and none of it can be going towards building a company. But I just need to get the foundation so that I can generate some income so then I can hire someone else to take it over. That's the thoughts right now. Gotta drink a lot of water. Very thirsty. I can't bring my water to my bike because it doesn't fit anywhere. So it's been a little bit. Had the exam. It actually went really poorly. I got a 55%. I need a 50 to pass. At first, when I got my score, I was like happy that I got it. And then I was like, holy shit, what have I become? So I don't know. This is a little bit of a wake up call. Need to do a little bit better on my exams. Need to study actually instead of just kind of half assing it, how I've kind of been doing the entire semester. Because, I mean, I just don't really value anything I'm learning, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't be putting effort into it. So luckily still passed, but a little bit of a wake up call. So I had to do well on my presentations and then my exams going forward. After came home, I did 30 minutes of work on the calendar app. I've actually been getting steady progress every single time I do little bits of work. So that's been great. And then did my juggling, very frustrating. I think I'm just a little bit impatient in that I expect me to continually get better and better and better, and that me to never dip in form. And I think like right now I'm either dipping in form or I'm just expecting too like big of gains. Because if you think like actually thinking about it, I've like just about doubled most of my metrics or made like significant changes to my metrics in the past like 2 weeks, and that's not enough time for me to like actually adjust to like them being consistent. And I'm getting like frustrated and mad, but I just have to think like if I keep on doing this for months and for years, like eventually I'll see like a real tangible difference. I think it's just putting in perspective, and like if even if I am not in form, it's gonna be okay because I can at least work on making my floor better
instead of trying to raise my ceiling, because my goal is to make my floor so good that it's still above everyone else's ceiling. I'm a little bit tired, so I don't have like the energy to like talk about it. I got my first comment today and my second subscriber, so that's exciting. I responded to it and liked it. Yeah, I think one dude just liked my video. He watched like 30 minutes of a video. He got like 30 minutes of view time, and that's crazy because usually people have been watching it for max like 1 minute. So, I don't know. I guess he saw something he liked. If you're watching this, shout out. Yeah, my videos recently have been really short because I just haven't been like recording as much. So I think over this next week it's gonna be a little bit of the same, just because I'm busy with presentations, and then hopefully once these presentations end, I'll be a little bit better at recording, because it's not as much. Actually, is that even a reason? I'm not really sure. It was just a lot easier to do it at home when I could always have like my charger like active or like near my phone. But going to journal, then go to bed. Wake up tomorrow, 6:45. Well, I'm gonna read, but I read on the metro to and from class, and then I'm just gonna finish whatever chapter before I go to sleep. But honestly, I'm just a little tired. Not really great at speaking right now. And yeah, day 13. I don't even know. I don't even know the date. April 22nd, because I wrote it down. Day 13, done.